Let's use a black and white adjusting layer on a background so that we can emphasize particular elements and de-emphasize other elements that are not quite so attractive to the background we'd like to use. Here we have two identical images of the FFA area out in front of the school. The one on the right is the original. Lots of saturated colors, a lot of late afternoon sunlight, creating some nice shadows and really lighting up the area. But it also highlights some areas of the school that are not quite so attractive and not of interest to us as a background or as an image. That would include these elements of the building, particularly over here and maybe this roof line. And the wall itself is okay, but we don't really want to overdo it with all of that. And so we can use a black and white adjusting layer along with the mask to create a whole different feel for this image. For example, we could highlight all of the state championships that have been won over the years. We can highlight the whole Tule Lake sign, this really nice looking wooden sign here that the Ag Department created, and then of course we have the nice tractor there. And then we can de-emphasize these areas such as other elements of the building. Let's take a look at how we can do this. So your first step is to open up a background and duplicate that image. Let's select our adjusting layer. Select black and white. There's several settings that we could use here to adjust the black and white. We are not going to use these for this lesson. Select the mask. Make sure that you have a nice soft brush. And we'll start with an opacity of about somewhere around 20–30%. Adjust the size of your brush. Once again, you can use the brackets as a shortcut. Make sure that your foreground color is black, and you can reverse that by using this arrow, or you can use the shortcut, which is the letter X, and you can use that to toggle back and forth. Foreground is now black, and so now I can go through and emphasize or highlight those elements that I would like to introduce some color back into this image. So I'm going over just the signs and avoiding highlighting too much of that blue wall. Then I'll bring some of the tractor in. So that's the basic technique. And of course there's a lot more that you will experiment with, come up with different versions of your background. Have your neighbors look at it, have me look at it, come up with a design that you like, just depending on the application that you will be using it for. If in the event that you take too much out, for example, maybe I think that's too much red in there, simply hit the X key and then you can come back in and bring it back to its previous state. And so using the brush tool over the mask and applying varying levels of opacity, type of brush, and the ability to undo your changes, you have a lot of ability to be very creative with an image. And that concludes this introduction to utilizing a black and white adjusting layer.